Welcome, everyone. I'm Barbara Kalk, Global Director of Content Strategy at CIO Marketing Services, and I'll be your host and moderator for today's webcast titled How New Age Networks Deliver Improved Experience and Stronger Security at Low Cost, and brought to you by CIO and HCLTech. My speaker today is Gurpreet Kohli, or GSK as he's better known. GSK has 35 plus years of extensive experience across enterprise technology. This includes 23 years of experience in the telco and network services domain, where he's led his team across significant milestones, including a 180-degree turnaround of the company's network practice and achieving high turnover with a robust bottom line. As a senior vice president and global business head at HCLTech, he actively helps clients resolve their complex challenges, co creating new value and broadening partnerships. Welcome, GSK. Nice to have
Thank,
you.
thanks for having me, Barbara.
Excellent. So let's start our discussion. I want to start with the basic question. Why is Gen AI relevant for networks and how?
See, uh, Gen AI, as we are seeing, it's making an impact in every place, the way we are connected or way we deliver the experience to our customers. We are seeing Gen AI, and particularly in that, a Copilot is going to help us reduce the mean time to resolve, because we are able to now have scripts on our side which can be run over Ansible for remediating the repetitive kind of problems. And for one of its kind of problems where it was a bug fix or a feature limitation, we had to always open tag cases with the OEMs. But gone are those days. Today we are trying to integrate with their small language models, and we can directly approach them and get the remediation. The things which used to take hours now can be done in minutes, and that is going to significantly improve the customer experience. That is going to significantly improve the disruptions. And as we all know, networks is at the center of it. If a server goes down, it only takes down what is hosted on that server. If a application goes down, it only takes the people who are using that application. But if network goes down, it takes everything down. So network uptime is very critical. So we are seeing Gen AI making inroads there.
Yeah, yeah. So we read so much about the hype around Gen AI. How much of this is real and how much is still to come?
In my view, we have started this journey. uh, it's just a start, but it's well begun is hard done. So we have half done it. The other side is that we and OEMs are maturing around it, and as we think more about it, it's like so many new opportunities are opening up. So many new ways are coming up where we can directly impact user experience. You know, Gen AI per se is going to take lot of load around network operation centers and make sure that the networks become self-healing, networks become more available and secured. I think all this put together, it's not a hype, but I must say that it's just a start. And we, along with the whole industry peers, are very focused on this so that we get the right outcomes out of it. We don't want to get into the point where we say that we can go to large language models which are hosted on generic cloud, because then we can face different kind of challenges. But we understand we are in networks where the network OEMs play a large part, so we are trying to get connected to them rather than going to open.
Okay, you've listed a couple of the benefits. That's great. But how will Gen AI impact cost?
A very important question, because anything which is not connected to the outcome is of no use. Okay. And customer experience is one angle. Second angle is obviously the cost. And we believe that as we are able to remediate the problems faster, as we are going to give a better uptime around networks, that is going to induce its own kind of cost saving, because that is at the heart of it. And and as we are able to remediate more security challenges using Gen AI, seeing that this is what happened last time, and how can I have a script which can either proactively prevent it or reactively prevent it in the first few milliseconds. That's going to be a game changer. And holistically, it's going to bring the total cost of ownership down, not at the cost of lowering the security postures. And that is what we are very interested in, and that's where HCL Tech is focusing on.
Right. Right. So the initial investment will see a big payback longer term. Is that your thought?
In my belief, initial investments which we'll make, it will be co-done by the customers, by us and the OEMs put together. The ecosystem will invest in it, and there will
Okay.
be some short-term, gains, and there will be long-term gains. And but I believe overall it will deliver the promise which we are seeing it going coming up with. And this is going to deliver to the promise that the networks are always available, and they are secured, and we are able to maintain the cost around it. I think and as we see a lot of things happening on the uh, land side of the house also, uh, you
Yeah.
know I think there's a lot of room for this to make an impact.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned the customer, you mentioned security, you mentioned lower costs. Any other benefits as Gen AI as it relates to the network?
So, in my view, these are the most pertinent points which a customer will look forward to. And the second thing which it will deliver is that we will be able to introduce more features on the
Okay.
networking devices. And one
Mm.
big angle is going to be as edge becomes a prevalent way of delivering networks, where we will be consolidating all the network functions onto a single stack kept at the edge. It will also allude toward the sustainability goals, because rather than having multiple boxes, everything will be consolidated in a single box, and that will help organizations achieve the sustainability goals. Also, that is one more added advantage of what I am seeing Gen AI and bringing in. And one more thing which I want to touch upon here is that though we are talking about Gen AI to networks, but this ultra low latency networks with the application hosted on the edge is going to
Mhm.
introduce so many of these intuitive robotic applications which are going to
Right.
change the way we look at things, and change the way we deliver things from manufacturing to life sciences. In fact, on on LinkedIn these days, there is a small video around a full head transplant done by robotics. Okay, I don't know when that will become reality, because right now it is just a hype. It's a sci-fi, but the point is that many of the operation theaters globally are being run by robots, and doctors are sitting either on the console a few meters or few kilometers or few thousand kilometers away from that. But as we are able to bring more and more onto the edge, that will mean that those kind of analytics are going to help, and Gen AI there will play a large role, because when we are performing those kind of surgeries, or we are maintaining those kind of SCADA network, we can dip into the pools which are available locally, which are available segment of the industry or the whole industry holistically, and come back if somebody has seen that kind of a problem. So it opens a horizon. The opportunities and are unlimited, and so are the aspirations, and so are what can be done around it.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So let's switch gears just a little bit. You mentioned edge. Let's talk about how Gen AI integrates with these new technologies, wireless, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7, and edge.
So, very good question. As we see campus LAN evolving, we are seeing there will be a heterogeneity, which will start with that today's, first thing is wired is going down. So, everything is tomorrow going to be connected on wireless. And in wireless today, we are working in a Wi Fi 5 scenario, which is half duplex. But Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6 enhanced and moving towards Wi-Fi 7, these technologies are becoming available now. Okay. And then moving on to private 5G, which will be contentionless bandwidth. I think for a longish period of time, all these technologies will coexist. And if somebody asks me what is the runway, I am looking at these technologies coexisting and sunsetting over next 3 to 5 years. So till that time, to manage this heterogeneity, it will require a army of people. But using the Gen AI in automation, in my belief, we will be able to live up to our promise by not over investing into it, but using Gen AI and the automation frameworks, making sure that we don't increase the cost of operations, but still we are able to maintain the heterogeneity, or still we are able to give very stable OT environment networks. And that will bring a lot of value, that will actually reduce the cost, but not at the cost of customer experience, not at the cost of not being able to deliver the ultra low latency applications which we are talking about.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So, speaking of automation, what's the overlay of SD-WAN with automation?
So again, SD-WAN is a very tricky technology. Somebody might say that SD-WAN has been existent for last 5 years or 7 years in many
Mhm.
cases. But largely, what has happened is the underlay has remained on the MPLS only, and the promise was you can have few sites on MPLS and few sites on internet. What it gave rise to was that the majority of the sites still remained on MPLS, so the cost never came down. And we added a layer of complexity on top of it in terms of SD-WAN, and few sites moved on internet, but we were moving to broadband-based internet, which had 17 to 18 hops. So we could never get the kind of experience, and the skilled manpower available of managing these overlays was also less. Today, what is happening is everything is getting homogenized or direct internet access, where I don't have to move out of the autonomous system of a particular service provider, and I can have multiple resilience in edge. Edge means the edge locations can be connected over various service providers. It can have service provider level resilience. And the second thing is, big point is that as we move to direct internet access, the costs really come down, and plus the technology has matured. So SD-WAN will be able to deliver its promise, and if we put the overlay of GenAI on top of it, the way we are
Mhm.
automating, the point is that these are all softwares. We are connected back to the OEMs. Any new features or feature limitation or bug fix, which is known, it's implemented proactively, or reactively, it's implemented, you know, in matter of minutes. That will actually give the value and unbundle the value which SD-WAN promised. And one more thing which is happening is now we are seeing that the SD-WAN is closely getting associated to SASE or SSE. So because SD-WAN means we have a hub and everything becomes a spoke, because it's an overlay VPN network on top of it. The people said that if I have to do firewalling, then I have to do firewalling at this place only. So with the SSE coming into the cloud, that is where the CASB, where I am breaking out to multiple clouds, or data loss prevention, all those good kind of things I can do there, intrusion prevention, intrusion detection, that will reduce the attacks, because we are trying to reduce the attack surface, and it will deliver the right kind of value and the outcomes at a very competitive price. That is what the promise is, and that's what we are moving towards.
Right, right. Makes sense. So you're talking about SD-WAN and secure services edge coming together, right?
Yes, absolutely,
Hmm.
yes. So they
Okay.
will they will coexist, because today what we are doing is that we are investing a lot in having that SSE hosted in a cloud, whether it's the public cloud or a private cloud, and that is where all these signatures will be checked. That is where we will be doing the breaking out to multiple clouds, because we know the applications are going to move towards the private clouds and public clouds. Wherever the application is hosted, we will be able to uh, take care of the whole data as it is coming to our enterprise. It's all inspected, titrated, and there are no vulnerabilities which are coming along with it. I think that's going to be fundamentally very critical for the enterprises as we go to the next era, which is hyper connected, where the OT environments are going to be openly connected, and they will be leveraging the AI, and they will be leveraging the analytics. It's very, very important that we safeguard the whole network, and that's what we are trying to
Yeah.
do here.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned OT. Let's talk a little bit about how security will be guaranteed in this homogeneous wireless and OT environment.
Very pertinent question. Uh, in my view, as we are embarking on this journey, Barbara, what we are seeing is that final OT resting place will be private 5G, where every device has got a SIM. Now, when every device has a SIM, then it will be SIM based authentication. Okay. But it never caught up in a big way as per the private LTE networks, which were available for a large period of time. But now with the private 5G coming into the picture, I think that will become a mainstay. Until that time happens, Wi-Fi 6 is now unbundling on two perspectives. A, it is not half duplex like Wi-Fi 5. It is full duplex. And I can have two-factor authentication. I can authenticate based on the OS posturing of the devices, which are unmanaged devices. So holistically, we will try to segment the network in the specific VLANs, and also we will be able to segment the application traffic, right, right from the layer 7 based micro segmentation to segmentation on the LAN side of the house, and then going to private 5G where we'll be able to authenticate using a SIM. Now, this SIM number is local to that enterprise. That means nobody else has it and nobody uses that spectrum even, because we will be having an overlay of a spectrum which may be mid C band spectrum, which is CBRS spectrum in United States of America, and we are going to jam the other spectrum. So that means the devices which come in, okay, and try to connect to the OT environments can only be those devices which are talking on that spectrum and using all the packet core UPF, which is hosted in my network, and the SIM management, which is hosted in my network. That will reduce the attack surface, enormously, and that will actually give us a lot of security on the OT side, which is absolutely required.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we talked a lot about benefits. There's certainly a lot of them. What are the top challenges that enterprises are facing for implementing Gen AI in the network?
In my view, Gen AI is a new kid on the block. Okay, most of
Hmm.
the enterprises are faced with a challenge where to start, how to start, what benefits it will give me. Okay, now defining that itself is a big challenge, and then there is a heterogeneity of the environment which they already have. They are running stable operations, so they are trying to contemplate whether it is going to take me forward or it is going to take me backward, whether I will be able to manage the velocity of change, what does it mean for me. And I think that is where trusted advisors at HCLTech come to fore, who are investing a lot of time and money in creating their own platform, in connecting back with the OEMs. And we are unbundling the mystery for our enterprise customers, where we are trying to say that this is the value which can be derived out of it. And we are signing the outcomes around that. How will it reduce the cost? How will up the customer experience? Though, Barbara, to be very frank with you, very early days in this space, and our eyes are also open, and we are open to all the things which are happening around us. It holds a lot of promise, but in the past also many things have held a lot of promise, but they never became reality. We know all that, but fingers crossed. We believe this is going to make some significant difference for our customers and
Yeah,
the planet at large.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. So you said focus on business outcomes, right? But I've got to guess that choosing the right partner is part of the process as well. So talk a little bit about your partnership with Verizon. How is it significant, and what value does it bring to those enterprises?
So very important question. Verizon, as we all know, is a major telecom service provider based on United States of America. And in fact, as the
Hmm.
brand value is concerned, they are number one. And as far as managed network services is concerned, with a pedigree of 30 years, HCLTech is the number one in managed network services. So these two BMOS, they came together to deliver a differentiated value to our common customers. So there are customers on the side of Verizon, there are customers on the side of HCLTech, and we believe that in tomorrow's hyper connected world, we needed a partner who has got the license for the spectrum, or we needed a partner who is having global network. They needed a partner who is as agile as they want to be, because Verizon always believed in productizing things, stability, because the core network has to be very stable, 5 nines of uptime. But the velocity of change is such that the new technologies are coming, new startups are coming, new things have to be tried. So what we are bringing is Verizon's stability, HCL agility coming together and delivering a totally differentiated value for our customers. And
Right.
and this is going to unbundle into from the SD-WAN to SD-LAN, then the hosting of the SSC at the right cloud, whether it's a private cloud, public cloud, backbones on multiple gigabits, and all those secured links which will come from Verizon. I think we have got a chance to provide a very, very differentiated value for our customers.
Right, right. So stability is important, but also the ability, to shift, right, with the technology that's coming out. You talk about agility. So both companies need to have that, right?
Absolutely. In fact, for a long time, people just believed at the tech stacks of telecom service providers, or whatever they are dishing out in terms of saying that network is so many percentage up. They believed that. But now the
Hmm.
enterprises are coming up and saying, no, we want to have the tech stack on our side. We want to manage
Right.
all the alerts. We want to manage how many tickets are getting opened against everything. you know, uh, telecom service providers like Verizon find it difficult to, kind of uh, helping customers with their own tech stack journeys. But us coming from totally from the left side of the field, we always created or worked with the tech stack which were for a customer. So we bring that experience. Verizon brings the experience how we can work, in a productized fashion. So Verizon has got some 26,000 customers in total, but largely they work in G2000 and G500. Both HCL and Verizon, I think, must be touching around 95 to 98% of the customers. So where a customer want a customized solution, we will dish that. Where the other customers want a productized solutions, we will dish that. But one thing we are promising, all these solutions will be very, very innovative, and they will be all directed towards only one direction, that is to offer customers choice, uh,
Hmm.
choice in terms of the technology, choice in terms of tech stack, and
Hmm.
the outcome, which is in terms of customer experience and cost. They are benchmarked, and they are future ready. That's what we are promising to the customers.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So we've talked a lot about how technology is going to change. It continues to change. What, in your vision, what's the future hold for Gen AI in the network?
In my view, Gen AI will mature, okay,
Hmm.
and as it matures, we will bring some extreme automation into the picture. Uh,
Hmm.
the picture right now is hazy in terms of that most of the devices are still boxes, but as we move to tomorrow's heavily containerized edge world, where we will not have to implement patches, but as we see Google giving kind of new updates, bringing in new versions on everyday basis. It will become so seamless with the network and network functions also, that OEMs will be delivering and everything is hosted on containers. We'll be able to kill the containers, bring in new containers with the new features, and this will be all happening in the background, and you will never even experience a blip. But that's how the security posturing or new network features will keep on getting added. That's what we are all alluding to, but that's still a mile away, but that's what the vision
Hmm.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got your finger on the pulse of things, certainly. Is there anything about lessons learned or advice that you'd like to offer our viewers?
Only one advice or one lesson which we have learned the hard way is that we have to sit
Mm.
together, define what is to prove, what is in it for
Hmm.
me, because then we
Hmm.
can chase it correctly. What I see with most of the organizations is that they are not clear about what they want to go for. Okay, when you are not clear where to go for, and and we all go back to big fives and in helping us define that strategy. In my belief, now it is becoming more and more technology focused. So you need to have right kind of consultants, and with these new technologies coming in, people who are having knowledge about these technologies is shrinking. So we have to sit together, co-create the vision, what we are running after, and then achieve those goals. And the goals also have to be segmented to achievable short-term and long-term goals.
Right. Right. So as the technology evolves, the number of people who are experts there is smaller, right? So that comes back to that partnership and who they're choosing, right?
Absolutely. So it is no more about outsourcing. It is partnership. And it's a three-way
Partnership.
partnership now. Actually four-way. System integrator, telecom service provider, OEM, and a customer. We all have to sit together and start painting the canvas. You know, as I will say, my wife, if she takes me to see paintings, I might see something else, and she is absolutely more knowledgeable than me. She always see the right things in the painting. The point here is how we train the eyes of four different you know people and converge on a single source of truth. I think that is going to be very critical for us to get the right value out of this journey.
All right. Thank you, GSK, for your insights and your vision. That's all the time we have for today. Again, I'd like to thank my guest, Gurpreet Kohli of HCL Tech, and thanks to you, our audience, for joining us. For CIO and HCL Tech, I'm Barbara Call.